In this lesson, you'll learn useful business English for workplace conflict, difficult conversations, and resolution. Let's begin. Phrase 1. Address the tension. Address the tension. Meaning: to deal openly with strain or discomfort between people. Example: the manager addressed the tension before it began affecting the wider team. Ignoring tension can allow assumptions and frustration to grow. Addressing it means naming the problem calmly and creating space for discussion. Use this phrase when a working relationship has become uncomfortable. Now repeat: address the tension. Phrase 2. Hear both sides. Hear both sides. Meaning: to listen fairly to the different people involved in a disagreement. Example: before suggesting a solution, I would like to hear both sides of the issue. Hearing both sides prevents an early judgment based on incomplete information. Each person should be able to explain events and impact. Use this phrase when mediating or investigating a disagreement. Now repeat: hear both sides. Phrase 3. Find the source of disagreement. Find the source of disagreement. Meaning: to identify the underlying reason people do not agree. Example: the discussion helped us find the source of disagreement in the project assumptions. Visible arguments may come from different goals, information, roles, or expectations. Finding the source makes resolution more practical. Use this phrase when the first explanation does not fully describe the conflict. Now repeat: find the source of disagreement. Phrase 4. Separate facts from assumptions. Separate facts from assumptions. Meaning: to distinguish verified information from beliefs that may not be true. Example: we need to separate facts from assumptions before deciding who is responsible. Conflict often grows when interpretations are treated as confirmed facts. Separating them creates a more objective conversation. Use this phrase when people disagree about what actually happened. Now repeat: separate facts from assumptions. Phrase 5. Acknowledge a different perspective. Acknowledge a different perspective. Meaning: to recognize that another person's view is valid or understandable. Example: she acknowledged a different perspective without changing her own recommendation. Acknowledgement shows listening and respect. It does not require agreement. It can reduce defensiveness and make discussion easier. Use this phrase when viewpoints differ, but cooperation must continue. Now repeat: acknowledge a different perspective. Phrase 6. De-escalate the situation. De-escalate the situation. Meaning: to reduce the intensity or hostility of a difficult interaction. Example: a short break helped de-escalate the situation before the meeting continued. De-escalation may involve a calm tone, slower pace, clear boundaries, or temporary pause. The immediate goal is productive conversation. Use this phrase when emotion is preventing useful discussion. Now repeat: de-escalate the situation. Phrase 7. Focus on shared interests. Focus on shared interests. Meaning: to concentrate on goals or needs that all parties have in common. Example: both departments focused on shared interests such as customer service and reliable delivery. Shared interests create a foundation for solutions even when preferred methods differ. They shift attention away from positions and blame. Use this phrase when trying to rebuild cooperation. Now repeat, focus on shared interests. Phrase 8. Propose a practical compromise. Propose a practical compromise. Meaning, to suggest a workable solution in which each side accepts some adjustment. Example, we proposed a practical compromise that protected quality while allowing a later deadline. A compromise should address the most important needs without pretending everyone receives everything wanted. It must be realistic to implement. Use this phrase when a complete agreement is unlikely. Now repeat. Propose a practical compromise. Phrase 9. Agree on ground rules. Agree on ground rules. Meaning, to establish shared standards for how a discussion or relationship will operate. Example, the teams agreed on ground rules for raising concerns during the joint project. Ground rules can cover tone, response times, confidentiality, and decision-making. They create predictability and fairness. Use this phrase before difficult discussions or when rebuilding collaboration. Now repeat. Agree on ground rules. Phrase 10. Rebuild working relationships. Rebuild working relationships. Meaning, to restore trust and cooperation after a disagreement. Example, regular joint planning sessions helped rebuild working relationships between the two groups. Resolution of one issue may not immediately restore confidence. Rebuilding requires consistent behavior and successful cooperation over time. Use this phrase when the relationship itself needs attention after conflict. Now repeat. Rebuild working relationships. Phrase 11. Resolve the conflict. Resolve the conflict. Meaning, to reach an outcome that ends or manages a serious disagreement. Example, the department heads resolved the conflict by clarifying decision rights and resources. Resolution may involve agreement, changed responsibilities, or a process for managing remaining differences. It should address the cause, not only the emotion. Use this phrase when a dispute reaches a workable conclusion. Now repeat. Resolve the conflict. Phrase 12. Prevent further escalation. Prevent further escalation. Meaning, to stop a disagreement from becoming more serious or involving more people. Example, clear written expectations should prevent further escalation of the issue. Prevention can include early communication, boundaries, documentation, or senior support. It protects the team from additional disruption. Use this phrase when risk remains after an initial intervention. Now repeat. Prevent further escalation. Excellent work. You have practiced 12 expressions for workplace conflict and constructive resolution. Choose 3 phrases and use each one in a sentence about a difficult conversation. Practicing calm and neutral language will make these expressions easier to use. Continue with the next part for more business English speaking practice.